Welcome to Field Forward, the ultimate A to Z podcast for field operation professionals. In this podcast, as every week and every month, we will explore the latest trends, strategies, and top tips for optimizing productivity and efficiency in industrial organizations. I'm your host, Cihat Kahraman, the CEO and co-founder of VSight. In this episode of Field Forward, I'm very, very happy to host managing partner at Virtualis, Timo Koechel. He is with us, and we will be talking about industrial augmented reality, effects of it, also effects of AI and different use cases, and much more. Joining us, Timo. Welcome, Timo.
Hello to everybody.
Hello. I know you very well, and I know you have a vast experience in digitalization of organizations, of production, manufacturing, IoT, etc. So this is huge. But for the audience, would you kindly introduce yourself, your company, Virtualis, also about your personal journey? How did you end up here?
Yeah, sure. Pleasure. So, well, my name is Timo Koechel, and as you said, I'm the founder and managing partner of Virtualis. But also in my previous life, in my previous career, I was working in a manufacturing industry in the field of operations and procurement. And as part of my last role at a German sensor maker, I was also overseeing the digital manufacturing team, which was responsible to digitize the shop floor processes. And in this role, I was constantly confronted with shortage of skilled workers and the challenge to make the competences we needed available anywhere and anytime. And that's where I noticed that XR technologies can help to solve this challenge. Yeah. And then at that time, I was also doing an executive MBA program at the University of St. Gallen. And as part of my master thesis, I analyzed and investigated about 120 use cases and solutions in the field of XR. And by doing so, I was able to identify which solutions bring some real benefit and which solutions can really work really in the best way. And after I got graduated, then of course, I also wanted to see not only in theory whether it works. So I also got a chance to implement some of those solutions at my employer and also later on at some befriended companies. And that basically was where the foundation stone of Virtualis was laid. Yeah.
Very nice. But overall, what is the motivation behind it? What makes you out of the bed in the morning? What is the motivation behind it?
It's there already. Competence is needed. Competence is needed anywhere, anytime. And this in the meantime has also become our claim, the claim of our company. And I think with our background, we help our customers to really make sure they have the required competencies available, the time they need it and at the place they need it. Yeah. I think many companies, same as I had this experience, notice XR can help them to solve the challenge, but they struggle to find the right solution and to implement them efficiently. Yeah. And this is where we as a full service solution provider step in. We support them in identifying the right tool, finding the suitable hardware that works very well with the software solution, and then also get it running.
It is also the combination, right? Not only the software, not only the hardware, but the perfect fit between the hardware and the software. It's not only one of them. It is not important if one of them is performing well, but mainly the combination of it, the fit.
One of the main learnings right at the beginning was where we got a very nice software program, and we bought some standard hardware. And then at the end of the day, we couldn't get it running because the hardware was trying to send some data home to the headquarters of the hardware company, and our firewall was blocking this. So we had to find out, what hardware it's running really smooth. And actually, I think that's it's a common issue in many companies. You need to have the right combination.
Yeah, absolutely. That fit is quite important. every day with a lot of customers, I'm also amazed by their need and by their requirement. And also, I'm sure that you have seen a lot of projects, a lot of
Yeah.
requirement from the customer side. What was like kind of like what excites you the most about XR overall, AR, VR? What excites you the most when it comes to the customer and that touch point?
No, what excites me most is really, I think it's the very wide range of possible applications. And I think today
Mhm.
XR technologies, especially if you talk in the industrial space, are still on an early stage. But the technology and related solutions, they develop so fast. I'm sure you can also tell and confirm, right? And it's very exciting to be part of this development. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. I remember even like, for example, just as an example of Epson devices, like they had a huge device in the beginning in the first run, and now on the fourth run, it is much smaller, much more capable with the battery power,
Mhm.
etc. So I guess that's every year, it is just hitting to the ceiling.
Yes.
So yeah, that's very good. And overall, like, what is your take on the effect of the software on industrial AR projects? Like, also, is there a meaningful difference between, like, for example, requirement of SME or Mittelstand companies and big organizations when it comes to the decision on the product and also what they want to do with the technology of XR, for example?
Yeah. Yeah, actually there is. And I mean, we're working with both. We're working with larger corporations, but also smaller companies. And what we see is larger organizations often have like the bigger budgets, but they strive really for the perfect solution. And by doing so, they often become, yeah, I would say more slow. Yeah. And on the other hand side, like smaller companies, they often tend to gain fast experience, but they have only low or little budget. Yeah. And my recommendation really to both of them is always try to have the big picture in mind, know where you want to go, but then start with small steps and learn fast. Start with a small step that gives you some immediate value. Yeah.
Okay, cool, interesting. And overall, I want to like ask you about like, I mean, yeah, like there are a lot of companies who wants to adapt it, but also I always believe that we are so much in an early stage. I mean, it is not on the level that we want all the time, and I guess like the adaptation in the industries is gonna be huge in coming years. What is stopping it? What is behind that? Like, what are the barriers overall in industries that you see that is stopping more industries, more companies to onboard and use this technology? Because I mean, sometimes when I'm thinking about the results and KPIs, it's just like at day one. I mean, it is no brainer to not to
Mhm.
use this
Mhm.
technology, but still, there are many barriers. What do you see as the most kind of challenging barrier in industries?
Actually, I see two challenges. I think
Mhm.
the first one is starting already with the content creation. Today, often the creation of content is still very expensive and time consuming. But that's where another development also going to kick in, like with the development of AI, this will help to accelerate this process. Yeah. So the content creation will become much faster. And I think they're very well on track. And the second point is XR technologies, both I think VR and AR. If you talk to a customer, they're always strongly associated with XR glasses or head-mounted devices, the goggles, right? But in some cases, they simply can't be used either for safety reasons or because it's not comfortable for the workforce to wear them on like 8 hours a day. And in our experiences, in many cases, this can be overcome by just switching to a handheld device, such as a phone or tablet. Yeah, and by that, I think the entry barrier is lowered, and also it's already you get some immediate benefits. Yeah.
Um, you also touched base to the generative AI overall with the content, etc. But overall, do you see any other kind of place where it will help a lot with, like, I mean, what will change on generative AI overall with the industries and especially XR projects? Are there any other places where AI could play a big
You,
role?
you see me smiling because Just a few months ago, I was writing also an article about that topic.
Amazing. Amazing.
And yes, definitely. I think, the combination of AR and AI features will make the solutions even more powerful. So imagine, like, for instance, AI can help to recognize certain elements in a picture, right? So, and if it recognizes the elements and the data, then it can display them directly in the field of vision of the workforce again, and that, of course, can be a big benefit.
Absolutely. I always see AI as a kind of a middle layer between the users and the applications. Right now, we are kind of imagining AI integration with VSight itself, like that, where it could create a great benefit for the users where on that interaction, because AI could know everything about the past usage of VSight, all the content. And of course, this is specifically for each company. That company owns the IP, but AI could help to get benefit from it, because like, you can't keep track of what happened 8 months ago in your organization. But of course, with a single click, with a keyword, it can trigger AI to see, okay, like, this is resembling to one of the cases happened 8 months ago. Let me check what is behind there. And maybe the user that right now is working on one case, one problem on the production line, might benefit from the past. And why I'm not bringing it to the user interface. So I see a great fit where it is like a middle layer between the user and also overall the past data of the company.
As you say, right, it can provide data which may be going further back, which is not aware anymore. And also, I mean, if they're working several hours on a topic, they maybe get a little bit tired. They're missing information snippets, and of course, they are also pre-trained database which maybe knows some patterns, some data patterns. Then it can help to identify those topics and again give them a hint to the worker. Right?
Interesting one. Well, cool. Overall, with the overall in the world and with the EU directions, we see a lot of push with the sustainability, and particularly in reducing the carbon footprint in industries, which we believe that this is quite important, both for the industries, for the cost, but also for the environment and for our future, for the world's future. How do you see, like, XR technologies to contribute to that target, where we will have much efficient, much less polluted environment on our organizations, on our industries? How do you see XR technologies can contribute to that?
So what was the situation in the past and even today sometimes, right? We have an issue somewhere at one of our sites or at some of the customer sites, and I have to send the technician there to get it solved. Or we want to train our workforce and we have to send them to the headquarters to get the training done. And I think really XR technologies can help to avoid this traveling. And for instance, we use remote support. The expert is sitting at his home base, but by the using of the XR tool, AR, in this case probably, he will then be able to steer the field worker through the topic and explain him exactly what to do, and maybe also display some information in his vision so that he can really accurately work on the topic. And by this, of course, there will be less traveling, and of course there will also the whole positive impact on the carbon footprint. Another topic also with the use of XR technologies, we see that the worker is going to be less mistakes. The output and productivity can be increased, so that will result in less scrap, higher output with the same amount of energy and resources. And that's also once more as a positive feedback on the carbon footprint.
Interesting one. We also have seen a lot of cases where it played a big role, other than the commute, on the waste. Because some organizations, when they need an expert and when they can't have that, some of the materials that are in facility are expired. I mean, when the skilled workforce is not there and they can't get help, then the production line is stopped, and then they can't use that material. And this is a huge waste. Not only cost, but also for the environment. Those materials, they are not that easy to absorb by the environment. So we see a lot of cases where XR technologies can help to kind of connect and get the right information at the right time, when we say that, and which I'm going to be connecting to my next curiosity, especially on your point of view about skilled workforce and also the like kind of closing the skill gap between the employees. Like what is there for manufacturing industry? How is it, like, how XR technologies is changing the learning curve, for example, for the newcomers to the company? And like, as you know, this is the biggest problem in the world right now with the old industries. Aging problem is huge. So how do you see that the skilled workforce and the learning curve and skill gap between employees?
Yeah, I think on one hand side, right, XR trainings are not only more fun, because nobody wants.
But it is fun, right?
They are more fun. Yeah, they are more fun.
More fun. Yeah, exactly.
More fun. And I think also studies in the meantime have shown that the immersiveness of XR trainings will actually accelerate the learning curve. So people, if they really experience it, if they have the feeling they're really doing things, they will learn much faster. And at the same time, I think that's a topic we also touched already before. Doing the training in XR, the training can be conducted anywhere, anytime. Yeah. So we save traveling time. You don't need to travel to a training location. And at the same time, you also don't have interruptions of the production for training purpose. You can keep the real production running while you do the training in a protected environment. So I think there's a big potential for training purpose, using XR for training purpose. Yeah.
Like, I mean, as you mentioned, actually, most of the time with the big organizations, it is not the case where there is no skilled workforce, but it is the case where the skilled workforce cannot bring their expertise to the field, like at the right time at that moment. So that's quite important to have that skilled workforce expertise right away. So I guess that is the most important part. And of course, every good and every fun technology, let's say, is coming with a cost. And from a cost perspective, cost benefit perspective, I would say, how does the investment in XR technologies compare to its returns in manufacturing sector? I mean, is it like a long-term shot? Is it like day one? I mean, we have touched that a bit actually, but still, I wanna learn more from your perspective, so to say.
So, for the cost, I think they strongly depend on the use case of the customer. And actually, we have some examples where it's starting from a couple of €100. But you also know there are projects with a 6-digit amount, yeah? So it really strongly depends on the use case. And doing this return on investment calculation is part of all the projects we are doing. We really look, okay, what are the benefits? What's going to be the return for the customer? And in general, it can be said that like the return on investment often is already reached after just a couple of months, yeah? It's not like if you buy a machine, you think normally, okay, 3, 4, 5 years, and it needs to be amortized. No, normally I would say 3 to 4 months, and then you already have your return on.
Seeing the return of investment, yeah, absolutely. Even in some cases, it is like, I mean, we have some customers. They're saying like, I mean, we are using your solution even a couple of times a year, but still even once a year. Yeah, as you said, and it is only once, but that effect is like huge cost. So, absolutely.
I'm sure you also know these examples, right? There's a machine down on one of the sites or one of the customers, so the expert needs to travel across the country or maybe even across the region. Yeah? So he has at least 1 or 2 traveling days. Then he goes to the site, he just takes a quick look and finds out he needs to press one knob and the machine is up and running again. And then he's traveling traveling back, and I think the time and the cost occurring for that, you probably already have amortized with one cost for a license. Yeah.
Absolutely. No, absolutely right. Absolutely right. Yeah, interesting. We are very happy to address those issues with our partner like Virtualis Red. But I wanna ask you, how important are collaborations? I mean, it is important in every business, everywhere. It is important to have those partnerships. But I mean, like for us, for example, we see, especially in XR, in industries, the customers they need a lot of help. You should kind of hold their hand and walk with them, walk with them, especially in the early onboarding processes. But how do you see that collaboration? I mean, how do you measure the success of the collaboration with the partners in AR industry, and what are your approaches to those partnerships and relationships, so to say?
Yeah. What I think what's so much fun also about working in this industry is we have the very big players, right? There are just a few which really have a dominating role, but there's also an increasing number of smaller companies and startups entering the market. And often it's really a combination of the competencies between several players which help to solve the customer requirements in the best possible way. Because actually, at the end of the day, it's all about solving the customer requirements. How can we, in the best possible way, solve the customer requirements? Yeah? And as this is also really a very, very core element to the business model of Virtualis. We are the industry experts, and we see ourselves as the matchmakers between the different partners, and we are at the same time also the interface to the customer to make sure he get the best possible solution.
Interesting one. Cool. While we are coming to end, so to say, I want to ask you, based on your experience and vision, what are the next big steps for Virtualis Re in the realm of XR and manufacturing industries? Are there any upcoming projects or collaborations you can share with us? I'm very curious about that, actually.
Okay. Well, I mean, on one hand side, of course, we're also working on our company strategy, and there are some big things back for next year, which I can't talk about.
Very good time for that, right? Like end of the year, customers are a bit more silent nowadays, and yeah, we are getting to the time where strategies are playing big role. Yeah.
And at the same time, we also have all these very, very exciting projects still ongoing. So, for instance, currently we are working with a German tunneling company on a concept of how to use or how to support their business with XR. And I mean, if you imagine drilling a tunnel into a mountain or below a city, these are really large projects with large equipment. Normally they are very global projects. They need skilled workers, and it's all happening in a very harsh environment. And it's really an exciting project for us to see how we can support them there with our solutions, with our partner solutions. And I think it once more also shows that there are no boundaries for the use of XR, right?
Absolutely. It is like huge. I mean, like you can apply it to anywhere, literally any kind of case. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. But I mean, I'm asking this question to everyone, not only in this show, but overall. I'm very curious about the perspective, because, we build the future ourselves. We kind of create the future ourselves. And I want to celebrate what will happen in 5 years with the person that guessed it right. So I want to ask you also, if it is going to be you, I don't know, Timo, but overall, what do you think? What will happen in 5 years in overall AR, XR? What kind of changes? How do you imagine and envision the future? Let's say 5 years.
Good question. I think 5 years from now, XR is a established and mature technology. And as I talked before, the market currently still is maybe very fragmented. I think it has become more consolidated, and even more dominated by few players. And the last thing where I would make my bet on is, I think in 5 years, Virtualis Re has established itself as leading full service solution provider in Europe.
Okay.
I think that are three developments I foresee. Becoming more mature technology, becoming more consolidated, and Virtualis Re is one of the leading full service solution providers in Europe.
Okay. Good one. So let's see if I'm going to celebrate you in 5 years. So let's see. We are all working on that. So great. Thank you very much, Timo, for joining us. It was a pleasure to host you. I enjoyed a lot, and thanks a lot for your insights and thoughts. I would say, like, when experience is talking, then it's so obvious, and I can feel it here. So thanks a lot for joining and enriching the content of this show. I'm very delighted to have you here. And to our listeners, thank you very much for tuning in for this episode of Field Forward by VSight. Stay tuned for more discussions from the field, from the industries, and from the forefront of innovation. If you like what you heard, please do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube and podcast channels and to get new episodes of Field Forward every month. But also, we would love to have your feedback. Leave us a comment, ping us through LinkedIn, YouTube, anywhere. I will appreciate your inputs to make this show even better. And the last note, if you have any questions or suggestions, you can record and send us your message. We will definitely feature that in our next episode. You can find the link below. Overall, thanks a lot for listening. And thanks a lot, Timo, again, for joining us. As a last remarks, would you like to say a couple of things?
Thank you very much. It was a big pleasure to be part of it. And looking forward to a common future, Ed.
Absolutely. Let's build it together. Thanks for listening. You just listened Field Forward, the ultimate A to Z podcast for field operation professionals. My name is Cihat Kahraman. I'm very happy to have you here. Cheers.